Leo, you sure you can handle the truth, bro?
I'm entitled to the truth.
Alright, guys, why are we talking about A Few Good Men? It's the movie that I recently just got in 4K, and then I realized Leo hasn't seen the goddamn movie at all. So, we watched it, and I'm more curious to see your first, or to hear your first impressions more than anything.
Okay, I love movies with dialogue. That's one of my jams. That's probably why I really enjoy Tarantino movies, is because he has those scenes with really long conversations, and they get into really deep details. So I really enjoyed that aspect of this movie.
It's almost like in Lost Art a little bit.
It really is, because there's no action in this movie yet. There's a lot of intensity to it. There's a lot of emotion.
Suspense.
Yeah, a lot of it. And there's a little bit of action, like the very beginning, some synopsis, right? You get to see pretty much what the case is about, a quick glimpse. But other than that, it's all people talking, engaging each other in
trying to solve a mystery,
witty banter. Yeah, trying to solve this mystery. Trying to prove to each other. It's a lot of this idea of, I guess, belonging, right? Which is, it's the undertone because it's about the Marines, right? It's a unit, right?
So here's the premise of this whole movie. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a very good movie. I suggest you watch it. And before we go deep into this movie, this will be filled with... this movie's been out for years, so expect spoilers. This is like kind of like a discussion more.
Although, I will say, I'm glad it was not spoiled for me.
Yeah.
Because it is worth the watch.
I mean, everyone knows the iconic line, "You can't handle That's common nowadays, right?
But you know what? It wasn't even like that big of a deal when it happened, but it was just more of like the scene was as intense as it could get. Like, that's when it boiled over.
Yeah. So the premise is this. 2 Marines enter into another Marine's quarters, and they perform something called a Code Red. And a Code Red is something that's like a self-disciplinary action that Marines partake amongst themselves. If you're falling behind or just effing up in general.
Yeah.
And this individual that they did a Code Red to died, and now this whole movie revolves around did the Marines kill him? Did this guy just die by accident? Who gave that order? Can you prove this individual gave that order? That's pretty much what it boils down to.
Right, because Cruz's character essentially he's defending them, but he's going to take the plea. That's just what he does. He takes the easy way out, and he's good at doing that. It's not that he's just like,
the fast deals.
Yeah, he's not the guy with the small hands and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, He doesn't practice bird law, that's for sure. But he's so good at doing what he does and just getting a plea, getting him off, on like a minor slap on the wrist type of thing. So it's cool to see that. And I wanted to watch a specific scene over again, but I realizing that that's who he is. Like, he's just like the hot shot, I do my job barely, and I'm good at that, and I make my money. And that's all I care about.
He takes the route with less resistance.
Sure, path of least resistance. Definitely.
But let's just talk Tom Cruise's performance just in general in this movie. We have Tom Cruise. First of all, we have Tom Cruise. We have Jack Nicholson. We have Demi Moore. We have
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin fucking Bacon.
Yeah.
Okay. This is an all-star cast here. If you're talking like
the guy
around
from
the
Twin
time.
Peaks, you got Noah Weil. I mean, this is a great cast.
And so Tom Cruise, this is one of the reasons why I do like this movie a lot. And it probably would have to fall under the top 25 movies of just that happen to be my favorite. And the thing about Tom Cruise and any character in this movie, for that matter, they all have major character development. Like, Tom Cruise is a certain way at the beginning of this movie. He ends up being a completely different person, or a more mature, evolved person by the end of the movie.
And I think it's another one of those movies. It's just part of it, okay? But it's one of those movies where someone comes into their own.
Yeah.
They find their identity. He finds it in this movie. That's one of the things that I loved about it. The realization of, okay, I'm gonna do me. Not what my peers say, not what my family says. I'm gonna do me.
And he has big shoes to fill. I mean, his father was a big time lawyer himself,
Right.
so he is
A
coming
trial,
into his
big,
own his own self worth kind of.
And I mean, he's famous for how he did it. I mean, even Jack Nicholson's character knows his
father.
Yeah, knows his type of work.
So let's get into the. First of all, who was your favorite character here?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise?
Yeah,
Okay,
because he's cocky, but then he got serious.
See, I do like Tom Cruise's performance here. But dude, it's a pretty fucking close one when you're talking Jack Nicholson, bro.
I know, but the thing is, to me, Tom has the most screen time.
He does.
So, and I love the character arc that I saw with him.
But think about the scenes, right? Like the scenes were popping when he had that fucking confrontation / dialogue with Jack Nicholson. We're talking about
cross-examining him. Yeah,
we're talking about their first meet out on the beach and just fucking his Cuban cigar.
See, and there's a very cool thing about that links both of those scenes, which is what gives him the backbone to his basis, right? So, in the scene where they're having sort of, I guess, lunch, right? Just a quick conversation.
Towards the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, the very beginning. He's asking him as he's leaving. He says, "Hey, can I have the transcript, a copy of the transcript for the request, to transfer?" Okay, and Jack Nicholson's character sort of takes this moment of like hesitation, and he realizes he's smart. Okay, he's using his lawyerness to get me, and so he quickly pulls rank, which is what I guess anybody in power would do, right?
Yeah, dude. But he does it so well, bro. The way he pulls rank, he's like, dude, it was pretty savage. If you really think about it,
it intimidated me. I'll say that much. Even watching the scene, and I didn't think Tom Cruise's character would get intimidated, but he did.
But he also pulls rank on Demi Moore.
Sure.
In the same scene.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have some pretty crazy lines like I smoke, I eat breakfast
300
yards away from 400 Cubans trying to kill me.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we're talking about this specific scene because this is the first time in this movie that I really was engaged by the dialogue. Now,
let's point something out.
How do I say this? I like dialogue that's very vulgar, full of cuss words, things that are not considered politically correct,
not PC at all.
Right? While we were watching this scene, Jack Nicholson's character, after Tom Cruise asked for the copy of the transcripts, Jack Nicholson made a comment, and he said, you have to ask me nicely. But the way he said it, he said Tom Cruise had a faggoty white uniform, and I just thought that was hilarious. But I also liked that was there because I could see Marines and guys, they talk like that.
It's just common knowledge, right? They try to downgrade your masculinity.
Of course.
Right? And he's a lawyer. I mean, he's a male lawyer. Of course, it all boils down to the fact that he's a man and he's good at litigating.
Wearing white.
Yeah, right.
I mean, and around this time...
And he knows that wearing white is controversial.
It's kind of like... Jack Nicholson feels like he's more man than Tom Cruise here.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm a Marine.
And I'm going to prove it.
And he's just he's never even been to court. He's wearing whites and he's questioning me and my authority? Hell no. Like, I'm going to put him in his place.
You're in my house.
You're in my house. You're in fucking, 400 Cubans away.
So ask me nicely, son.
Yeah.
Right?
But Demi Moore also was very, very good. Demi Moore, I don't know what happened to her, but she used to be one of those... She was everywhere at one point. I mean, we're talking Charlie's Angels, number 2, I think. A Few Good Men, G.I. Jane, Striptease, the whole 9. I don't know what happened to her, but let's talk her character for a minute. I mean, what did you think of it?
Well,
about her?
I thought she was going to play the tough character the whole time, just by the way it started. But she sort of... I guess she realized, let whoever, whether it's a man or a woman, in front of me, doing their job... that does it good. Let them do their job. So she sort of brings down her own ego and realizes the dynamic that needs to be established amongst these three lawyers to actually defend these guys.
But she doesn't trust Tom Cruise
No,
at
of course
first
not.
meeting. I mean, Tom Cruise comes in with a fucking apple. He's completely... He looks like the kind of guy that is not going to take the case serious, right?
Well, I mean, he's playing baseball when the guys get in, you know? I mean, or he's having batting practice.
But when they first meet, though, he goes into her office with an apple.
Oh, right.
He's not taking notes.
Right.
He's like completely like
the paper that he brings out with the information, the name,
didn't even know her
crumpled
name.
Up. Yeah, he pulls out a crumpled up piece of paper.
Crumpled
That's pretty
up.
disrespectful.
Yeah, so clearly he didn't leave the best first impression here, right? And Demi Moore's character is like, oh fuck, nah, like I'm gonna get a different motherfucker.
And
here.
she outranks him.
Of course, yeah.
So I mean, she pulls rank too.
And this is another reason why I like this movie so much, is because each one of these characters, we're talking Tom Cruise, we're talking Demi Moore, and we're even talking the third guy that was with him.
His name's Sam, but
I don't remember his real name, but his character's name is Sam, right?
Yeah.
All three of them started off with a certain... they were all a certain way, and then they all were different at the end. I mean, Sam's character, for example, he thought that these guys, these two Marines that they were defending, they should go to jail for life. Right?
He thought they deserved it. So
they deserved it,
He
yeah.
wanted to just do the BS job.
Yeah. Get it over with.
Right,
You know,
let's
I
take the
believe
plea.
their story. I believe their story, but they definitely deserve to go to jail.
By the way, this is another piece of information, right? Is that the Marines... By the way, Aaron Sorkin. I've never seen an Aaron Sorkin movie that I've knowingly going into this movie. I see it in the credits. Aaron Sorkin. I know how famous he is. My God, I want to see more of these movies because the dialogue, I know that comes straight from him. But anyway, the Marines. There's this scene right where Tom is talking to Dawes. No, the other one. Anyway, the one that basically
The private.
the private, yeah, the other guy, the other
white
soldier,
guy.
right? No, the black guy.
No, he was Dawes.
Okay, so Dawes. Okay, Doles was the other one? Anyway, Dawes. He's talking to him like he wants to talk on the level, right? He wants to get all the information he can from this guy so he can actually do his job, defend him. But there's a moment where he stops sort of like, you know, being rude and calling him sir after everything, after he's been asked not to. And he tells him straight out, listen, man, there's a code. The code is the unit, the core, God, country. Which to me is like, you know, I don't have a concept of that.
Neither do I. I mean, I've heard that.
I mean, I know bros
term
before
that
hoes.
say bros.
I know that code. The bro code. So I'm guessing it's pretty similar.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I'm kidding. No, there's no comparison. But it just goes to show, listen, these soldiers will take the bullet, the fall,
And they follow orders
from the top. Exactly. They don't question. They're trained to obey. No disrespect. I don't know, but this is
In
what
this
the movie, okay, makes evident is these guys will follow the order to the letter, right? They won't question it. They'll just do it. And the beginning scene shows you there's no remorse.
They follow the hierarchy of
chain of command.
The chain of command.
Yeah, it's
Without question.
And I love the way the movie makes it very clear. They did their job.
As a matter of fact, this whole case revolving Tom Cruise and Demi Moore, that is
the
their
beauty
case.
of it, right? Is that, hey, they were doing their job.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Why don't we just go up to the top of the command and check that out? Because that's where it came from.
Because they're the ones really at fault.
Right.
They did the action.
Right. That's what's going on there.
But Tom Cruise's character's team, their whole defense is they had no choice but to do this.
Of course. Because
that's what they do.
as Dawes explains, I'd rather go to jail for life than to be court-martialed.
Or
dishonorably discharged.
dishonorably discharged.
He's like, I don't want to have to renounce. Like, I want to be a Marine. That's who I am. I've found my tribe.
And this thing, talking about like just the court scenes in general, or the trial in general, I did like how they went through so many hoops, so many ups and downs and ups and downs.
Look, I didn't want to assume that they were going to win the trial, And I honestly did not know. But
The first time I watched this movie, I didn't know that they were going to win.
So, but the way this movie goes about showing you what they're going to do and how they're doing it, you really have no clue. They do a good job of saying, listen, we're going to lose.
Yeah.
We're going to lose
right
this.
from the beginning.
From the get-go.
We
That's
had
why he
nothing.
wants to take the plea.
Yeah.
Right? And the plea is amazing. 6 months. 2 years, they do 6 months, they walk, they get dishonorably discharged. You get to go scot-free. You're about to get put on trial for murder.
But you know what? The Marines are so kind of...
The code.
The code, right?
Code.
They're
No
like,
way.
no deal.
No.
No deal. We're not doing that.
We're innocent.
Yeah, we did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
We followed orders.
Right.
We shouldn't get any time. We shouldn't get dishonorably discharged.
And you know what? I
could see Tom Cruise's frustration as,
right.
as
Like,
the
are
lawyer.
you stupid?
Like,
I got
are
you off, bro.
Fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Like, either you take this 6-month bullshit deal and get out of the Marines, or spend the rest of your life in jail.
But see, I think this is a moment where they show you, hey, listen, this is Cruise's character at this point in the movie. He doesn't value things, really. He just does his job. And that's all he values, the law.
That, to Tom Cruise at this time, is the win.
Right.
He can't comprehend them saying, what? You want no to the deal? Like,
He's known for doing plea bargains.
Yeah.
That's his infamy. Is he's done, what, he did 9 in 3 months or something. Or 3 weeks, whatever it was.
are you talking about his cases?
Yeah. He said, like, oh, I did, like, a treble. Like, I got a bunch of cases in, like, a short span of time.
I think it was like 44 cases in like 9 months.
9 months, that's it. Like,
so
man.
he's used to like the quick
Right.
getaway. I mean, this is and to be honest with you, if you really think about it, this is. I mean, if I was one of the Marines, dude, I'd take that fucking deal, bro.
I was like, that's the end of the movie right there.
That's it. Okay, I'll take 6 months. Fuck it. Either that or life. Dude, that's a big. That's a big risk.
There's a lot of.
Especially around that time, that you know that the lawyer doesn't have 100% confidence in you, in your case.
Yeah.
So I would definitely have
Because,
taken
and the beauty of what the movie does is it establishes these viewpoints. It establishes these easy outs, right? These pitfalls, if you will, that can lead Cruise's character astray, right? And that's what he's done his whole life, his whole career up to this point. And you see the moment where he's like, you know what? And I talked about this.
It was when they went into the arraignment date where he said not guilty for them.
Right.
That's when he was like, fuck it. Okay, let's go all in.
Right.
Fuck it.
And it's like, oh man, that's what makes the movie beautiful, is the fact that he wants to go through the trials. He wants to go through the mud.
But I also like the fact that Demi Moore's character is... I mean, if Demi Moore's character wasn't in this movie... I think he would have taken the easy way out.
It would have happened.
And at one point, Tom Cruise's character was like, we'll find him a different lawyer. Fuck, they don't want to take the 6 months, bro.
But that's what's cool about her character, is she has that, like, internal affairs element, right? Like, the Departed, right? There's someone who... There's corruption. Let's find it. It's basically a movie about corruption.
I don't know about corruption here.
Well, that's why he got put on trial. For corruption.
Who? An internal
Code
affair?
Red. No, the colonel.
Oh, that wouldn't be corruption. That'd be like conspiracy to.
Conspiracy. Okay, right. Not corruption, but that's what it boils down to. Conspiracy is corruption. Like, you're trying to change the system.
Yeah,
To manipulate. He's manipulating
or
it.
bend it a little bit.
Manipulation.
Yeah.
Manipulation.
So the thing that I like about this whole court, right, is once Tom Cruise's character is like, and his team is like, fuck it, let's go all in. Let's go all in. Tom Cruise and Kevin Bacon had a good back and forth opening statements, the rebuttals, the fucking the facts pointed out, the cross examinations.
These are the facts.
Yeah,
they're undisputable facts.
Yeah. And I just thought, well, damn, that was a very nice opening statement from Kevin Bacon. Like, case closed, motherfuckers.
And I think that's where Cruise's character usually says, okay, we'll take the plea. You're right. It's that simple. Those are the facts. What do you got? We're guilty. Fine.
The whole thing just... Tom Cruise's character's thing is just we're disputing the intent. We're disputing the intent to kill.
Yeah.
And they want to establish
And
motive.
Right. Which they don't have.
And as soon as
they actually do have motive because he was basically an F up.
So the thing about both characters, both Kevin Bacon and Tom Cruise, had excellent cross examinations at one point or another.
Good.
Right, Kevin Bacon's character when he was cross examining the private. And he was like, "What do you mean?" Like he pretty much established that the private. I don't remember
Noah
his
Wild's
goddamn
character
name. I don't know his name.
The one where he asked him, "Hey, show me in the book where Code Red is," and then
no, not that guy.
Oh, okay.
The guy that's on trial.
Right.
Dawes and the private.
He asked him if you heard it from the sergeant.
Yeah, because up until this movie. Both the Marines were claiming that they both were given an order, code red order from a higher up.
And when Cruise interrogates them in the beginning, they both say, "Yes, sir, I heard from so and so."
Yeah, that the code red was given, whatever. But when Kevin Bacon cross-examined one of the Marines, then he realized really quickly that one of the Marines wasn't even in the goddamn room
when it was given.
And that was like one of the biggest blows,
bro. It was a major blow.
Like, oh, no, you fucked it all up.
Well, I mean, they basically assumed they lost at that point.
They lost at that point.
So they were about to give up.
And it was literally enter Jack Nicholson's character. Mm-hmm. And this ending, this last 10 minutes of this movie,
we have to watch again.
It was so intense, so suspenseful, and kind of like, whoa, oh my god, like two acting geniuses going at it. Mm-hmm. Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. You can't get better than that.
I could watch all of Tom Cruise's intense movies, or even Jack Nicholson's, and never get tired of them. They're just that good. They're so believable. You believe that they're those words that they're spitting out.
And even Tom Cruise and fucking Jack Nicholson, towards the end, they were having their good moments and bad moments. Mm-hmm. Tom Cruise started off strong.
Right.
Thought he was going to get Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson comes back.
He cuts him off basically at the point because he's like, "Oh, you're going to base this off of phone calls?"
Yeah, like I was like, "Oh man, you're wasting everyone's time here."
Right,
bro.
And it's like, "Oh, damn, you're right."
Making Tom Cruise second guess himself like, "Holy shit." Okay.
Oh, and that was a major second guess.
Like it was like, okay, if I press forward with this questioning and accusing this high-ranking officer of conspiring,
yeah,
then I'm gonna get court-martialed. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna go to jail.
I think that's when he realizes that he's like, "Oh, this is gonna happen. I'm gonna get court-martialed."
This is gonna happen,
right? Because I'm making that statement, basically. That point. He's accusing him.
He's drinking the water. He's like,
right. His hands shaking.
He's like, "Oh my god, I didn't dismiss you. Get back to your chair."
Well, that was amazing because
That's when he realized.
Right.
He made up his mind. Well,
but
fuck
it took him like a good minute and a half, almost two, to like get his bearings again and recalibrate and just keep going full force he was.
But he took it to him, bro. Oh, like an argument. It's just like, I mean, the whole this whole cross-examination is intensifying, and of course it goes to that famous line, "I want the truth. You can't handle the truth." And it was like, for a split second, you get this right after Jack Nicholson says, "You can't handle the truth." He gives a brilliant monologue, like a minute long, about how he does his job. You need me on that wall. I do the stuff that you can't do, and it's because of me that you have all these freedoms and all that. He was going off on Tom Cruise's character.
He had a point. Everything he said is like, I think everyone in that scene, including the audience, I'm assuming, everyone else feeling this is like, he's right.
But in that, Tom Cruise saw... I'm talking, I guess, if this really happened, but Tom Cruise's character, once he realized that Jack Nicholson's ramping it up, his emotions are very high, in that height of that emotion, he pressed even more. It's like, "Did you order the court?" He's screaming at him, right. "Did you order the court?" I mean, face to face, like this fucking close.
Right. And here's it's a nice tie-in to the moment when they're having the lunch in the beginning, because when he asks him for when he basically confronts him about something that he thinks, okay,
hesitantly,
right. Depending on how he answers, he's looking for a reaction. That's all he's looking for, a reaction.
Yeah, a read. He's trying to read.
It's his poker face. What is his poker face? What's his tell, right? He's testing him. He's bluffing, right? And then at that moment, Nicholson sort of, I guess, his ego's touched. Sure. And then he pulls rank by saying, hey, you need to ask me nicely because you're in my house. He does the same thing in the court at that moment.
Yeah,
he touches the ego, right? He's like, as he's walking, because he walks away because Cruz is mute at this moment. He hasn't said anything. The judge has asked him repeatedly, hey, what's your question? Are you going to ask your question or not? Or else he gets to go. He's walking off the stand. He's like, I'll see you later. I'm going back to whatever. He says, he dismisses him basically. And then Tom Cruise realizes, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And then he says, I haven't dismissed you yet. And he has to walk back. And he's like, all right, what do you want to ask me now? My favorite color?
Well, here he can't pull rank here.
He can't.
Right? Like, now
because
you're in
this
my
is
court.
his. Yeah, now he's in his house.
Dismiss you.
Right, now
you
he's in his
down,
house. That's a beautiful. He turned the table in that moment. And when he turned the table, that's when he just pressed even harder. Because he had him.
And it was that high pressured response from Nicholson, and that's when he's like, did you order the court? Like, that's when he jumped on him. And it was just like, you goddamn right, I did.
Oh my god, that was a bomb. I loved it. It was a bomb. I mean, even I was like, did he just?
I saw you kind of like, a little bit
what?
Like, holy shit!
And Tom Cruise himself, it takes him a good couple of seconds to just be like, oh, he just admitted it. I got him to admit it
to ordering a code,
and not just like by mistake. He blatantly yells it out. You're goddamn right, I ordered a code red. And it's like, he stays in that intensity and then he realizes, like, I lost my cool.
Dude, he had the crazy eyes, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Like, both of them did. But when Tom Cruise was going, did you order? I mean, you saw, like, the fuck, like, I felt like he was going to punch the shit out of him. Well, I felt like that type of intensity from Tom.
It was all there. And again, there's no physical violence going on. There's no physical conflict. It's all emotional and verbal.
It's just, you can't get better than that. You just can't get better than that.
What more could you want?
Any negatives?
Okay. When the movie ended, right, the credits rolled, I was like, this is the best movie I've ever seen because it just delivers so well. I mean, that it builds a tension, right? And then the climax is a good climax. It's deserving of the tension that it built. And I guess you can see it coming, but it could go either way. And then there's that moment where the Marines, right? Their evolution, they realize, oh, we messed up. We were supposed to protect someone like that, and we actually...
It goes back to what I was saying. Every character here has an arc.
Right.
Right?
And theirs builds so slowly, right? It's at the very end that they even say, oh, whoa, we messed up.
Yeah, like Sam's character going from, they deserve to go to jail for the rest of their lives, to, they really had no choice. It's not really their fault. Tom Cruise's character going from kind of like a fast-talking, easygoing kind of lawyer to like a lawyer that actually cares about the clients who he's representing. We have the Marines going from them thinking they did nothing wrong to, holy shit, we did something wrong.
Yeah. Right?
So, and Demi Moore's character went from like being a kind of a hard ass a little bit, like black and white, to actually more sensitive, asking Tom Cruise out on a date, kind of more relaxed, right?
And I guess this could be PC, but I feel like it wasn't a weakening of her. It was just more of a realization of, hey, this person is actually a person. Let me get to know him. Because you know why? And what's cool about it is there's that scene with the beer when they share a beer with Kevin Bacon. right? And they're on the level there. They're laughing. They're trading stories. You know, for a second I'm almost.
Kevin Bacon?
Yeah, when after, when was it? I think it was after the doctor incident. Remember the doctor's cross examination?
Yeah.
Okay, they basically sort of like, okay, look, good job, but like, because he gets him. Remember, he throws the pencil down, and he's like, "Damn, you got me."
What are you talking about?
Okay, so there's the scene where I think it's with the doctor, and no, it's with which character? Okay, anyway,
he's another military guy that was driving them to the base.
Oh, the Noah Wild character,
Yeah.
right? They're cross-examining him, and so Kevin Bacon's character basically says, "Show me in the book where there's code red," right? And he's like, "Well, there isn't because it's an understood kind of there's no, it's an unwritten code."
Sure.
And so Tom Cruise's counter is, "Well, where's it written where you go to the mess hall?
Where's the cafeteria?
Yeah, where's the mess hall at? Is it in the book?" And he's like, "No." Well, how do you know? Well, because I just follow people who are hungry. It's like, it's just common sense, right? It's an unspoken rule.
Yeah, just because it's not written, that does not mean that they don't do it.
Right. And the way he establishes that, Kevin Bacon at the very end of that scene, he looks down and he throws his pencil at the desk and he's like, "Damn it, he got me." And then they go later on.
Or like a good point, like that's a
right.
good
But assuming he got me, like he got me, he neutralized that one. Like we're level again on that front. But then they go on and they have this, they meet at a bar, right, the lawyer bar, and they have beer together, right, and then they're just discussing that part of it and logistics and all that, and they're very civil. They're not yelling at each other. They're not insulting one another.
I mean, they play basketball together outside of the courtroom.
But still, there's still some aggression there when they meet. Remember when they meet in the beginning? Sure. Okay, so there's some aggression until that moment. It's more relaxed. So it was sort of like that with him and Demi's character. They were sort of aggressive, and then she sort of, okay, you know what? Let's get on the level.
I was wondering where the fuck you were going with all this.
I
realized, okay, you're comparing it to Demi's.
Right, just, she finally got on that page where it's like, now we're on the same level. We can have a discussion without fighting or without insulting.
Yeah, they're at home drinking Yoo-Hoos and Cocoa Puffs,
right, having pizza, yeah.
Kung Pao chicken and shit. But what's your rating?
It's a 10. It's a 10. I love these type of movies.
I knew you were going to give it a 10
I love these type
you
of
finish
movies,
watching
man.
it.
It's just, I want to see it again a couple more times because there's, specifically when he's pressing Nicholson's character, Kevin Bacon's objecting, and the judge is like, you're stepping, you're out of bounds, right? So there's 3 different people yelling, but I'm focused on Tom. The second time I saw that whole scene, I was focused on the judge a little bit and Kevin Bacon. So there's a lot of scenes like that. There's a lot of things discussed in this movie. It's very rich in conversation and I guess ideals and people's codes, what you live by, like Toretto, So it's a 10, man. There's so much. There's layers. I want to peel the layers off this thing.
I'd have to agree with Lee on this one. To me, there is no, I wish this was done a little bit better. Like, there is none of that. To me, I enjoy it from beginning to end. I'm engaged from the opening scene to the cross-examination to the relationship building between all the characters. It's a solid 10. There's no question about it.
Maybe in the middle, there's a couple of scenes where, like, I guess it could have been sped up just slightly, but I didn't mind it. I love the pace.
I see, that's the thing that I feel with some viewers nowadays is they want things really fast, dude. No one sits down and just like takes the scene in. Let's hear and understand the dialogue that's written, that's being said between these 2 characters. And let's absorb it. I don't see too many movies like that nowadays. So when it comes to A Few Good Men, you can't do it better.
Who are the Few Good Men?
That has to be Tom Cruise, Demi Moore, and Sam. But Demi Moore's not a man.
Here's the thing. Well, I mean, servicemen. There's now we say servicemen and women.
I think that's it. I think you just hit it on the coffin, the nail on the coffin. A Few Good Men. I think it's referring to the Marines. Maybe.
I mean, you were
Or maybe it's just the title. Fuck it.
Maybe.
Anyways, guys, next review that we will be doing is going to be the Black Panther movie review, so stay tuned for that. We will be releasing that Friday. Friday, either Thursday or Friday of this week. So stay tuned for that. And also, as promised, The Predator, Part 1
Stick
movie
around.
review. I ain't got time to bleed. All right, later, guys. Bye.